What are some of the easiest countries to move to from the US? People ask this question all the time. At the end of the day, there are 195 countries in the world, but not all of those 195 countries are suitable for Americans. The 3 countries that I picked for you today are based on affordability, visa options, weather, climate, culture, and community. I took a look at so many countries, and I have narrowed it down to the 3 countries that I think are the most suitable for Americans that want to move out of the States. The first country that you're probably very familiar with is Mexico. Mexico is part of North America. It has so many benefits, starting from you being able to work from the same time zone, you being able to travel very quickly back home. If you want to get to Mexico City from LA, guess what? It's just a 2.5-hour flight, or a 3.5-hour flight from Chicago, or less than 2 hours from Dallas. There's no doubt that the proximity factor is the main reason why 1.5 million Americans moved to Mexico in recent years, and this number is expected to go up a lot. But the proximity factor is not the only reason why Americans choose to move to Mexico over so many other countries. What else is important? Well, what is really important to people is the climate. Taking a look at Mexico, you have a really hot, humid climate on the Caribbean side. If you want to help yourself and get out of the cold weather, you can definitely achieve that by going to Mexico. Taking a look at the Caribbean side, you have so many places that have warm weather in winter. If you like it hot and humid, you can consider going to Tulum, Playa del Carmen, Cancun, the island of Cozumel, and all the other amazing places that are just within a 2 to 3 hour flight from your home, and all the other places that can be reached in just 2 to 3 hours by plane. But the Caribbean side is not the only area that Mexico has to offer, because what if you don't like it hot and humid? What if you want more seasons, right? There's a lot of people that are not into tropical climate, so where do you go? You can go to central Mexico, Mexico City, you can go to Guadalajara, Querétaro. There's a lot of really amazing metropolitans in Mexico where you can go to have a coolish winter, because it doesn't really get as cold as it does in a place like Chicago. However, you do still have the cooler climate if you go to central Mexico. There's also plenty of other beach cities available on the west coast of Mexico, like Puerto Vallarta or Puerto Escondido. Temperature in all areas of Mexico ranges between 50 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit throughout the year. Average annual humidity is roughly 70%, but it really depends a lot on where you're at. So this is just the annual average. Given the fact that so many Americans live in Mexico, we're talking 1.5 million Americans, you really can see that there is a lot of communities all over the place. We're not just talking on the Caribbean side, not just Playa del Carmen. I mean, there is a lot of communities, talking digital nomad communities, co-working spaces. They're everywhere in Mexico. They're in the bigger cities in central Mexico, so Mexico City, Guadalajara, Querétaro. They are on the Caribbean side. They are also in the south, they are on the west coast. I mean, you find digital nomads, expats throughout Mexico. Let's say you found Mexico, spent some time there, you love it, you don't want to leave. How do you manage to stay in Mexico for the long term? What visas are available to you? This is a really good question, and Mexico has a temporary residence permit which gives you anywhere from a year to 4 years in a country. In order for you to qualify for this residence, the temporary residence permit, you need to prove an income of $2,000 a month for at least 6 months, or $33,000 in savings. $2,000 monthly income is usually an amount that a lot of Americans can prove. You can prove it for either pension, business income. If you have a job and you have at least a paycheck of $2,000 a month, you'd qualify for the temporary residence permit. So what's going to happen after the 4 years are up? Because the temporary residence permit is really only valid for up to 4 years, like I said. Once the temporary residence permit is about to expire, you can switch, okay? You can have it converted to a permanent residence permit. However, the income requirements are a little bit steeper, okay? They are a little bit higher. So in order for you to qualify for the permanent residence permit, you need to prove an income of at least $3,000 a month, or 12 months of bank statements proving $130,000 in minimum account balance. Another way for you to obtain residence in Mexico is through investment. Purchasing property worth more than $125,000 will give you residency as well. Something that I almost forgot to mention that is really important is that you can stay in Mexico for up to 6 months as a tourist. Well, it isn't exactly 6 months, it's 180 days. So if you want to go to Mexico, try out the country, you can do that for 180 days. That should be enough time for you to really get a feeling of what Mexico is all about, go to different places, try it out, see where you would like to live, or if you just want to be in Mexico temporarily, just a couple months a year, you don't need to worry about all this residency stuff that we were just discussing. The second country that I wanted to talk with you about is Costa Rica. Americans don't need a visa to go to Costa Rica for up to 3 months. Supposedly you can stay longer in Costa Rica. Well, you need to leave the country, do a border run, come back and get another 90 days. I'm not advocating that you use this method to live in the country, but there is a lot of people that do use this system. Costa Rica offers a variety of different visa options, from digital nomad visas to residence programs. If you want to go to Costa Rica as a digital nomad, you want to stay longer than 3 months, you don't want to get involved with border runs, you want to, do things by the book, guess what? There is a digital nomad visa available. The financial requirements are as follows. You need to have an income of at least $3,000 a month if you apply as a single applicant. Should you apply as a couple or as a family, you're required to have an income of $5,000 a month. The retirement-focused visa has a different financial requirement. You can obtain it by proving a monthly income through a pension, and you need to have at least $2,500 of monthly income for at least 2 years. One of the strongest points, the biggest reasons why Americans choose Costa Rica, and why you may also consider it, is the climate. The climate is very conducive to outdoor activities. If you love going to the beach, if you enjoy hiking, if you just like spending time outside, if you want to get out of the cold weather, guess what? You can have it all in Costa Rica. How about the weather in Costa Rica? Well, the weather is warm all year, with average annual temperature of 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit on the coast and 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit on the countryside. If you want to stay away from rain, you can have a relatively dry season from December through April. From a safety perspective, Costa Rica is relatively safe, especially in the beachside communities. So if you stay within the communities, there's usually very little crime. And Costa Rica is an eco paradise. One of the downsides of living in Costa Rica, because it is such a beautiful place, is that house prices are pretty high. Same goes for food. A definite benefit is, again, the time zone, because being in Costa Rica, you're still in the Americas, you're not in Europe, you're not in Southeast Asia, you're not in Africa, so you get to enjoy the time zone benefits throughout the year. Language-wise, you probably can get away with English, if you stay within the beach communities. However, if you go away from the expats, you probably need a little bit of Spanish in order to live life in Costa Rica. And it's not only like this in Costa Rica, it's pretty much the same in Mexico too, right? Unless you live in Playa del Carmen, even there you probably need to speak some Spanish if you go to local bars and restaurants. However, if you go to to a less known, less focused expat city like Guadalajara, you do need to speak a lot more Spanish on average. And don't expect people to speak English, because you're in their country, and you are expected to speak some Spanish. And learning Spanish is actually not that difficult. Just learn the basics, learn how to order a meal, learn how to say hi, learn how to start a dialogue, just start small. And this is really the same thing, the same concern in Mexico and Costa Rica, because a lot of people go there and have the expectation that they have to speak English, but they really don't have to. You are in their country, you are a guest. So learn a bit of Spanish. It's going to help you in so many ways, and the locals are going to appreciate it. The last country, which I do believe is a hidden gem, but just as any country, it has pros and cons. However, the country that I wanted to talk with you about last in this video is Georgia. Georgia is a country located on the edge of Europe. Technically, it's part of Asia. However, the people of Georgia do consider Georgia to be part of Europe. It is a bit of a difficult situation in Georgia in terms of where the people think they belong to. One of the best aspects of moving to Georgia, and I'm not kidding when I'm saying this, is the liberal visa policy. Because as a digital nomad, as an expat, as an investor, entrepreneur, it doesn't matter who you are, you can go to Georgia as long as you are on the list of eligible countries. You can go to Georgia and stay in Georgia for up to 1 year without needing a residence permit, any type of special visa. You can just go to the country, enjoy it for up to 1 year. I think this is a very liberal visa program. In fact, it's the most liberal visa program in existence right now. There's really not any other country that offers a 1 year tourist visa right now. And it's easy to get, as long as you're on the list of eligible countries, which America is, you're good to go. From a climate perspective, Georgia has definitely multiple seasons. The winters are cold, rainy, so you need to like the weather. If you want the tropical beach lifestyle, Georgia is not for you. Georgia offers the traditional, old school, European laid-back lifestyle. No exotic beaches, no tropical weather, but a lot of culture, amazing food, friendly locals. These are all things that you get to enjoy when you go to Georgia. So Georgia is a really great country if you're into hiking, if you want to live in a country where you can get by with speaking English, unlike Mexico and Costa Rica, where you are expected to speak Spanish, because Spanish is a widely spoken language. It's undeniable. In whole Latin America, people speak Spanish except for Brazil. Brazil is the only country where people speak Portuguese, right? So with this in mind, people are just much more in the frame of mind that, okay, you come to their country and it's not like, oh, Spanish is only spoken in Mexico. No, Spanish is spoken in dozens of countries. So they expect you to come to the country, speak some Spanish, because it is their language. And even if a person from Mexico travels to another Latin country, they get by with Spanish too. It's the same as when you travel to Asia, you don't want to learn an Asian language, you want to speak English. So if this is important to you, I definitely recommend you to try Georgia. If you don't want to learn another language, if you like cool to cold climate, the summers are gonna be hot. July, August, it's gonna be great weather if you want that, if you like it hot, or you can go to places that's even cooler. But anyway, you have the option, right? And if you want to be in Europe, if you want to be with friendly locals, if you want to have great cuisine and the proximity to Europe, if that's important to you, if you like going to other places in Europe, you have more homes, then Georgia is a place that you want to try out. Which of the discussed countries would you move to? Do you prefer Latin countries? Do you prefer Georgia, the country located on the edge of Europe? Have you lived in any of these countries? Leave a comment below and let us know. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm uploading new videos on digital nomad locations, travel updates, and visas several times a week right now. Before I let you go, I got 2 recommendations for you. Recommendation 1. I showed a video on the best cities to live in the entire world. If you want to watch this video, click on the link right here. Recommendation 2, I showed another video on countries with easy residence permits. These are countries, if you want to migrate, if you want to get residency somewhere else, if you want to get a second passport somewhere else, then these countries are phenomenal options for you. If you want to check out this video, you can do so by clicking here. Thank you for watching.